الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. So in the final chapter, Al-Babu Thalith, regarding those adawat, those asma and those huruf, which are often repeated in the Kalam al-Arab. Now, in the first section, or the first half of this, he just let's say described a few words. He told us how we should label them in Arab, and he mentioned a few things. The second half is very, very beneficial. What he does is he mentions certain words and he says how many ways they are used. So it's very beneficial because then you can see one word being used in different ways. So you understand, well, okay, this harf, this particle or this ism has different meanings. And you'll see as you go along here. So for example, he starts off, he says here, وَتَكُونُ لَا, and la can be. And then he explains the different uses of la. So he says, وَتَكُونُ لَا نَافِيَةً. وَتَكُونُ لَا نَافِيَةً. And la can be nafiya. What does nafiya mean? Negative. La can be negative. For example, La ilaha illallah. So one usage of la is for it to be negative. The second one is nahiya. Nahiya means the negative command. Okay? Now, remember the two different things. One is nafyun and one is nahyun. It's obvious, but let's recap to make sure. Nafyun is when you state information, you can say it's cognitive. Meaning, for example, has a true or false value to it. So, for example, ma dhahabtu. Ma dhahabta. You did not go. Information. You are giving what? Information. So ma dhahabta. Correct? And the nahi is when you make it negative. Nahi is when you give a command. You say la tadhhab. This is now a command, meaning don't go. So the nafi is when you give a jumla khabariya and you do what? You make it negative. Ghayr mujab. And nahi is when you give a command. La tadhhab, don't go. So you have nafyun and nahyun. So the wujuh, the ways of la are, it can be nafiya, it can be nahiya. وَزَائِدَةً لِلتَّوْكِيد. It can be za'ida. Za'ida means extra, for ta'keed. What does this mean? Allah says in the Quran, لِأَلَّا يَأْلَمَ أَهْلُ الْكِتَابِ. So Allah mentions previous to this, and He says, I have done this so the people of the book come to know. So the people of the book come to know. But if you translate this la, it means what? So the people of the book don't know. Do you understand? So this la is za'ida. It means so they know. It doesn't mean so they don't know. You understand? The question is, why do you even write it? That's how the way the language develops. For example, sometimes in our language, we use like things negatively to mean positive. Slang, you say what? It's bare wicked. So if you say bare wicked, wicked means what? Evil, isn't it? Literally, linguistically, it means what? Evil. But wicked means what? You don't speak slang, you're very posh. Huh? What does wicked mean? Like, wicked is a wicked, man. Meaning what? It's really good. So something that's bad can mean really good. It is the way language evolves and develops. Like for example, that famous saying, you ain't no Muslim, bro. So you have no Muslim, bro. If you look at that, if you analyze that, double negative makes a positive. But it is the way people speak. Correct? Yes? It's the way people speak. Correct? Are you following me? So that's how it is. So that's how the Arabs use it. So the Quran follows the language of how the way the Arabs speak. So they use the extra lam, even though they don't mean so they don't know, it means so they know. Okay? So he's explained la, and he said la has three usages. It can be nafiya, it can be nahiya, and it can be za'ida. Alright? Then he says here, وَتَكُونُ in. And in can be He carries on. In can be shartiyya. In can be shartiyya. It's the most common usage that we have. And how do you recognize this? It means here, if. And the recognition of this is that what? Is followed by a mudari'. And you look somewhere down the line, you'll see another fa'il. Okay? That's how you recognize a shartiyya. It will be followed by a fa'il al-mudari', sometimes a mazi, but it'll have two verbs in a sentence following it. So when you see in, followed by two verbs after it, not immediately, but like somewhere down the line, then what happened? That means is what? In is what? Shartiyya. In can be nafiya. Correct? And what usually happens if you have an ism after it? An ism or a jumlatul ismiya after it. Correct? So for example here, in indakum min sultanin bihada. So in here means negative, not. Indakum, how do you indi qalamun, I have a pen. Ma indi qalam, I don't have a pen. In indi qalam, I don't have a pen. In indakum qalam, you don't have a pen. In indakum sultanun, you have no evidence. Bihada regarding this. And in min, we have done it before, we do it later on, is min za'ida for emphasis. You have no, remember I told you if you have a ma nafiya or a istifham, if a min, it means any. So in indakum min sultanin bihada, you do not have any evidence or proof of your statement of shirk, saying that Allah has there are more than one gods. So in indakum min sultanin bihada. So this in is what? In is nafiya. Yes? Correct. Zaida. Sometimes after sometimes you have a negative particle ma, and after the ma you have an in. This create more emphasis. Ma in Zaydun qa'imun. Ma in Zaydun qa'imun. Zayd is not standing. Zayd is not standing. There's a beautiful poem. I've heard somebody saying in the bayan, I haven't come across it in writing. This they attribute to Hassan ibn Thabit radiyallahu anhu. He says here, Ma in madahtu Muhammadan bimaqalati. Okay. Bimaqalati. Let's pause it 1 minute. So it's ma in madahtu Muhammadan bimaqalati. I did not praise Muhammad with my maqala. So he said that when I said a poem, I haven't praised Muhammad with my poem. Why? Ma in madahtu Muhammadan bimaqalati, walakin madahtu maqalati bimuhammadi. Rather, I have praised and beautified my poem by mentioning Muhammad inside of it. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Meaning, when I praise Muhammad, he doesn't get any better. He's already so great. When I mention Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in my poem, what do? I decorate my poem, but his name is in my poem. Like Sirah, there's so many books on Sirah, you don't need to write a book on Sirah anymore. But people want to write it because I want to be part of those people who are honored to write a Sirah. Because so many books on Sirah, hundreds, isn't it? Not hundreds, thousands in English. And then how many Arabic? You don't know. So anyways, that's a bit off track. But here, ma in. So you can add the in nafiya after the ma. Okay, وَتَكُونُ in. Another way of in is مُخَفَّفَةً مِنَ الثَّقِيلَةِ. We will discuss this in more details in the books of Nahwa if you haven't done it already. But it's briefly, inna can sometimes become in. Inna can become in. So instead of saying inna, emphasis, they say in. Right. Now he's given an example in the Quran, from the Quran, based on different qira'ah. Now in this qira'ah it says here, in kullal lamma la yuwaffiyannahum. Our qira'ah is, wa inna, indeed, kullan ay kulla ahadin. Indeed, everyone, la yuwaffiyannahum. He will give them their recompense in full. Wafi, to give in full. Now in his qira'ah is what? Lama. Correct? And in ours is inna kullal lamma. Yes? Correct? Another example, he says, in kullu nafsin lama alayha hafiz. So in our qira'ah, what is it? In kullu nafsin lamma alayha hafiz. So ours is lamma alayha hafiz. That's why he says here, that is in can be mukhaffafa, in whose qira'ah? Fi man khaffafa al-meen, in the qira'ah of those qurra who do takhfif, khaffafa yukhaffifu takhfifan, to lessen or lighten the, don't do shadda, opposite of shadda. So our qira'ah is shadda, we do tashdid of the meme, lamma. Those some do qira'ah, lama. Okay? You following? And he says here, وَهَذَا وَقَدْ قُرِئَ بِتَخْفِيفِ لَمَا. Okay? When you do takhfif of lama, okay? So what happens now, in this qira'ah, in this qira'ah, in kullul lama, what's the qira'ah? We say here, in is mukhaffafa min al-thaqila. So it's really innahu. But you remove the inna. Correct? Yes? Okay? So he's saying here, then you make kullu mubtada'un. Correct? And after that, kullu nafsin, and then alayha hafiz is khabar. Correct? And then what do you say? This lam is called lamul fariqa. What is it? The differentiating lam. How do we know this is in nafiya or in mukhaffafa? By the lamul fariqa. If it's in mukhaffafa, you must have a lam on the khabar so that we know it's not in nafiya. If I say in zaydun qa'imun, what does that mean? Zayd is not standing. I said, no. I mean, indeed Zayd is standing. So if it's indeed, then you have to what? You have to put in Zaydun la qa'imun. Lamul fariqa points out that the in is what? Mukhaffafa, really inna. If there's no lamul fariqa, then what? Then you don't have a lam. So you have a lam. So in this qira'ah, in kullu, so you say in is mukhaffafa min al-thaqila, kullu nafs is mubtada, and lam is fariqa, ma is za'ida, just for emphasis, mazida. And alayha hafiz becomes the khabar. Okay, so he's saying here that one way of in is mukhaffafatan min al-thaqila. Yes? You following? Okay. Yes, any questions regarding that one? Or should we go? Yeah, everybody understood this one? So what he's saying here, the tarkib is written down here, you can have a look at it later on. But the concept he's saying here is that sometimes in can become, be used in different ways. So if you just erase all of this here, right? And if you go to the next screen, let's just go, right? And just use it. So let's say here. So what we're saying here, we have in. What are the three ways of using in? So we say here, so let's say here, in, Allahu Akbar, in, taqum, aqum. Then after that we have, in, what's the next way of using in? In Zaydun, in Zaydun qa'imun. And in Zaydun laqa'imun. This means what? This in means? This is what? Shartiya. And it means what? If. This is what? In? Nafiya. And it means? Not. And this is in? Mukhaffafatun, and it means indeed. And the difference between the two of them is what? What's the difference between these two sentences? The lamul fariqa. Al-lamul fariqa, the differentiating lam between in mukhaffafa and in nafiya. Yes? Okay. Yes, you understand that? وَتَرِيدُ أَن. He's going through to an. وَتَرِيدُ أَن. You say an can be a harful masdar. What can an be? Harful masdar. ينسب المضارع. For example, وَالَّذِي أَتْمَأُ. An is harf masdar. You call this what? You say in Turkey this becomes موصول حرفي. And the whole jumla becomes the sila of the موصول حرفي. And then that becomes the, you say here, بتأويل المفرد في بتأويل المصدر بتأويل المصدر I interpreted or dealt with as a masdar بتأويل المصدر مفعول به, because it's harf mastar. Harf mastar basically means that you can read this whole sentence as a mastar. Basically, وَالَّذِي أَطْمَعُ مَغْفِرَتَهُ لِي لِخَطِيئَاتِي. It has a masdari meaning. We call it a gerund. Okay, I think so, gerund in English. You follow me? Does that make sense? Yes? Okay? Yes? So you have an a harf masdar. For example, the first example we just gave right here. Sometimes you can also have an can be really anna. Okay? Okay? So alima an sayakunu. Alima an sayakunu. So really an is really alima annahu sayakun. So it's really annahu. What do we do then? We make it mukhaffaf. Why do we make it mukhaffaf? We do that in nahwa, inshallah. Just pause it, a few questions, and we have a look at the questions. Okay? Another usage of an is what? Within that one. Another usage of an is mufassira. وهي الواقعة بعد جملة فيها معنى القول دون حروفه. The jumla mufassira is a sentence which occurs after a jumla. What is it? It is a sentence which occurs after a jumla. So you have a jumla followed by an. And the previous jumla fiha, in that sentence, there's ma'na al-qawli duna hurufihi. There is a word which has the meaning of qala, not the words of qala. Okay? So for example, it has a quotation, but the word itself is not qala. Okay? For example, awhayna. When we say, Allah says, awhayna, we sent wahi. Isn't that going to have a quotation? We sent a wahi to him, an i'budullah, u'budullah. That's a quotation, isn't it? But is it the word qawala? Qawlam? وَنَادَيْنَاهُ. We call him. Isn't it going to be a quotation now? Wouldn't it be a quotation? I called him, I said, Ya Zaid. You switch on again, isn't it? Yeah. So in here, awhayna, nadayna. All of these have what? All of these have the meaning of a saying. But the actual word itself is not qala.